Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kinetic Impressions. I'm Arnie,
I'm Andy.
and
Was,
today we're going to be talking about some movie news. Today's story involves a little-known comedian by the name of Bob Odenkirk. Bob Odenkirk has decided to get swole and make a studio pay for it. Case in point, article from slashfilm.com. Context: Bob Odenkirk, who we all know from Better Call Saul, right? Fantastic show, great character. Is going to star in a movie called Nobody. This is a little excerpt from the article I'm going to read. He quote, "Sometimes the man you don't notice is the most dangerous of all." Emmy Award-winning Bob Odenkirk stars as Hutch Menzel, an underestimated and overlooked dad and husband taking life's indulgences on the chin and never pushing back. A nobody. When two thieves break into his suburban home one night, Hutch declines to defend himself or his family, hoping to prevent serious violence. His teenage son, Blake, is disappointed in him, and his wife, Becca, seems to pull only further away. The aftermath of the incident strikes a match to Hutch's long simmering rage, triggering dormant instincts and propelling him on a brutal path that will surface dark secrets and lethal skills. I'm in for that. I'm totally in for that. I'm going to play a little bit of this featurette that was released. Also, Drew, it's kind of weird that they didn't release a trailer for this. They only released footage of Bob Odenkirk turning into a badass. Not a trailer for the movie. They're really selling the fact that this is an all comedian turned dramatic actor who's gonna be the shit. Anyway, I'm just gonna kind of play a little bit here. Look at this. Look at that. Look at his ass kicked. Look at him getting swole. He's got like 15 or so like personal trainers at all hours of the day. I mean, it looks dope. What do you seen this already, Drew?
I saw this clip that we're going over right now.
Yeah.
I've seen this bus portion of it.
Yeah.
Because it got released somewhere at some point, and I can't remember why, but like I remember when this got, and then I remember the person talking about it was just like, imagine if Taken and Breaking Bad combined, because like that's what not Taken, John Wick. If John Wick
yeah.
and Breaking Bad combined, because it's just like that's what happens. It's like he just,
I'm gonna
and then
stop it right there.
I hear Bob Odenkirk just does a phenomenal job in this. I think he kicks ass, which it really is very similar to Breaking Bad in the sense that like we eye this character as one thing for a really long time, and
Yeah.
he changes directions on us, and we love it because we love seeing something different. So like to see something different from Bryan Cranston, which I think Bryan Cranston can play a lot, and I think we we were not giving him the benefit of the doubt from the Malcolm in the Middle dad for all those
Yeah.
years.
I mean,
And then
yeah,
like
he's
and
so
then he
good at
really
it.
took it to another level.
Yeah.
And I think Bob Odenkirk, like he wouldn't have gotten his own spin-off show if he wasn't such a great actor. And I've loved him in everything. I always get excited to see him in anything. He like even his like little projects. I think he was in like an indie film with like Miles Teller early on, and I was like, oh, I love seeing Bob Odenkirk, you know. And so I don't know. What did you think first seeing this?
I feel like the renaissance of the dad bod is upon us. Um, I believe that everything you just said cues into the same thing. It is I love this genre of ordinary mensels just rising to the occasion and just being badass. And I mean, leading with that because it seems as though for the marketing of this movie, they are pushing the fact that Bob Odenkirk transformed himself into a badass to lead the marketing campaign. Because this is a trailer, but it is also behind the scenes of Bob Odenkirk just fucking whipping ass, right? And how the fuck old is Bob Odenkirk? I don't know if you can look that up, but he looks like he's definitely in his 50s, if not close to his 60s, right? And I love this, like, I love the fact that, like, okay, besides the story and everything, we'll talk about that. I love the fact that we're starting to see like old dudes just wreck shop.
He's 58 years old.
See, he's almost 60, basically, right?
Yeah.
Wrecking shop, doing things, taking names, showing the layman that you can do that as well. You can get off of your couch and you can rise to the occasion if you want to. You just got to work hard at it and, you know, get a studio to pay for it and then work out for like 4 days, only eat chicken for 14 months. But you yourself can be Bob Odenkirk. That is the minutia of this story. Besides that, I love the story. It really harkens to the we talked about History of Violence on a podcast a couple weeks ago. And it's definitely basically the same plot as History of Violence. History of Violence, if you've seen that or heard of it, is it's a wonderful film starring Viggo Mortensen and is directed by Cronenberg, where a mild-mannered man who has a family gets invaded by people from his past, thus unlocking the savagery of a man who has tried to change, be something different, and live an ordinary life. I like that genre of film because it does like two really interesting things that I like. First, it introduces a family dynamic into a thriller film, which is just something really fun to play with that I like, you know? It's fun to like see the reactions of the kids and the wives and everyone around them to be like, oh shit, you can do this? We never knew that. That's just fun to me. I like that a lot. I think Bob Odenkirk, it is a travesty that he has only just begun to shine. But I'm glad it's happening. I'm glad that he's getting the opportunity to do something like this. He's been a character actor and a comedic actor and a comedic writer for almost 2 decades. So he's been around, and it definitely speaks to the position of the industry when someone like him can actually move beyond those roles. It took him getting Emmy nominated, of course, and being on 2 multi-successful shows to do it. But it is, you know, it's changing the mold of what you would think an action star is. We obviously have to thank Liam Neeson for that. Neeson's for that, of course.
I was about to say the same thing. Like Liam Neeson,
yeah,
really started all that because like we didn't see him. We didn't see him as that character, and then like things started coming out. Like Batman Begins came out, and you're like, "Whoa, man, Liam Neeson kicks ass." And then like Taken came out, and you're like, "Oh my god, he really kicks ass." And then he carried that franchise, and so I like when I really like on this podcast when we talk about when I talk about things when they put like a full-fledged team under something to really make it succeed. Like when you know the team's foolproof, you know, like we were talking about Michael B. Jordan, and like, you know, if he didn't have that full team behind him, like we'd be a little worried about his directorial debut, right? But it's that like he's given so many good things around it, and that's what I really like. So the producer of this movie, David Leitch, I don't know how to say his last name, but like has done John Wick, done Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, Hobbs and Shaw from the Fast and Furious series.
Yeah.
He knows how to do action. And he really, I think he's keyed in on a lot of really good movies in the last 5 years. The last 5 years, this guy's had he's had a career for a lot longer than the last 5 years, but he's really done a really good job the last 5 years. And when you combine that with the writer, the John Wick writer who wrote this, Derek Kolstad, he's talked about in this article, and like you get a script from him, and so we're already seeing that John Wick like success, and obviously it was going to be a success because it was Keanu, and like people were just going to go see Keanu, but like put such good things behind him that like, all right, now if we're taking the script writer, we're taking all this, we're gonna get a good movie.
Dude,
And
don't forget about the director.
you what?
Don't forget about the director. The
Oh
director
yeah,
of this movie, I can't say his name because I believe it's Russian, but it's the guy who did Hardcore Henry.
yeah, Hardcore Henry, and like I was if I didn't know if I knew how to say his name, I would have mentioned it. But
Yeah, for sure.
that was the thing I was a little scared of. But
Yeah.
yeah, this guy did Hardcore Henry, so like he's with the team around him, I think he has a lot of potential. He's like to me the weakest link of this all star team. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
saying anything bad on him at all. I'm just saying like he's the one that like he's the one that hasn't been doing this for the last 5 years like crazy.
Right, right.
I don't know. Do you remember a movie called Death Wish? Came out 3 years ago.
The Bruce Willis remake of the original 1980s
Yeah,
Death Wish, yeah.
and it was like it was basically like to me it was like cool. Bruce Willis is too old to do Die Hards. He's done with that. So now like we got to give him something to do because this guy's just sitting at home.
Dude.
So like we give him that remake. I think he was great in Death Wish, and it just reminds me of everything. It was like father, his wife gets killed. He has to take vengeance for his wife, and he's just like, "Don't worry, daughter. Like you'll be safe." And it turns into Home Alone Taken style. Like we're gonna booby trap the home. We're gonna do it. Takes my two favorite movies and just combines.
Home Alone, solid picture. Yeah, dude. I think it's interesting because like I think that the genre connecting type thing is definitely something that's at play here in this as well, because like on the surface, it's the minutia of a mild-mannered man turning into a hardcore assassin, but it's also Bob Odenkirk being in a movie where the producer of Hobbs and Shaw and the director of Hardcore Henry is going to be involved, right? So you do have a melding of worlds here between those two, and like that could be a recipe for incredibleness and a really incredible original idea. I'm really into that as well. I really like Bob Odenkirk. I think he's a fantastic actor. I do think it's a shame that it took so long for him to get to this status and stuff. But I think now he's an older gentleman and he's finally at this point in his career starting to get to the point where he can start kind of experimenting with things. Right? He's been kind of pigeonholed to the comedy thing forever, and then he finally got himself into a really good dramatic role. Honestly, because he was the key comedic relief in Breaking Bad. He really was. He was definitely in there to bring some levity to the whole situation. And then thankfully, the creator of Breaking Bad, what's his name again? I forget. Can you look it up for me?
Vince Gilligan?
His name. Yeah, Vince Gilligan. He loved the character and loved Bob Odenkirk's portrayal and was like, I just want to stay in the Breaking Bad universe and want to keep moving forward with that. Thus turning Bob Odenkirk into a real legit solid dramatic actor who has the schnapps to do it. And now, thankfully for the maturization of his career, he is able to do something like this. Like if you're a studio head and you're talking about this kind of flick, who are you gonna get to be in it? Like I could totally see Bruce Willis doing something like this. Those kind of actors. But now that Bob Odenkirk has the pedigree, I'd imagine that he read the script and was like, I want to do this. And I but imagine his agents were telling him, man, come on, you gotta work out for like a solid 14. You gotta lose all this weight. You gotta train. You know how fucking hard it is to insure him? Like this is things you have to think about. The man's almost 60. And I'm gonna go back to the article and just show this guy is doing full-on combat training, hand-to-hand. Look at his face in the middle.
Like turning red.
He could have a fucking heart attack before cameras roll.
Oh man!
But I'm glad it's happening. I fucking hope this is legit. I'm gonna fucking watch it in a goddamn theater because I'm gonna fucking have a goddamn vaccine in my body and my blood when this comes out.
So
I'm gonna
like, I
fucking
mean,
support it.
Bob Odenkirk has been around forever.
Yeah,
He's been around forever. He has been, to me,
he's
behind the
he's
scenes.
double my lifetime. He's been alive. Sorry.
Yeah, but like he's been around forever because he's written for Saturday Night Live. He's written for the Conan O'Brien show. He's done. He did Tim and Eric, awesome show.
Yeah,
Most recently, I think like he's done so much thing, and he's been a great character voice actor,
yeah,
and like he got to do so many things, and because of that, it kind of put him into like it just put him into this like one character of doing really funny comedy voice acting and occasionally being like a walk on role. Like I knew he was on like a walk on for like one episode of News Radio and
yeah,
Third Rock from the Sun. Um, he did voices in all the Doctor Doolittles, like Futurama. He did an episode in Futurama, like all this stuff. He's been around forever, and I'm glad he's gotten his shot. There are actors who really bloom late. I know Madman dude. What was his name?
John Hamm.
Yeah, I think John Hamm was a late bloomer, right? John Hamm. We
Yeah,
never saw him for anything young, and he's actually I think he was actually a comedian, and he's a funny guy. And like his first big thing was like very dramatic, which I think that was weird.
yeah.
Uh, so I don't know. I'm really excited. I think it's funny. You were giving me a kick about like how old he is and stuff because yeah, he is old.
Yeah, studio heads are not going to be like, well, I don't know. Yeah, let's put the fucking almost 60-year-old comedy guy in this bitch. That's not going to happen.
But Saul Goodman in Breaking Bad was just a great initial character,
Yeah.
and like he was man, he was hilarious. I mean, even just seeing him, I remember when people rewatched The Office, they were like, "Oh my god, Better Call Saul's in an episode in The Office," and he's like the other boss. I think he's like the Michael Scott equivalent that Pam goes and gets a job with for like a day and realizes that like if you're just the other Michael Scott, I can go back to Michael Scott.
Yeah. Yeah, I love this, like, because what's happening is like there is this like blurring of the lines between comedy and action film that's happening with this movie. It is just really interesting and cool, and it's wonderful to see that avenue open up, right? Because like that's just something that wouldn't have happened in fucking 1980s, 1960s Hollywood. You know, you're always pigeonholed to whatever the fuck you do, and you're not gonna do anything else. You're just always gonna do that. But now it's like, hey, fuck it, just bust the door open, new content world. Let's put the 60-year-old fucking comedic actor fucking from SNL writer to action movie star in 30 years. Yeah, that should give everybody writing on SNL right now some hope for the future of their careers, man.
Well, I think there's plenty of people that give him hope. I mean, like,
yeah,
literally, like Conan O'Brien, Andy Samberg, Tina Fey,
yeah,
all of them were like behind the scenes for so long, and then like, or Conan O'Brien was Simpsons for so long, and then
yeah,
like,
Simpsons. Yeah, I think he also wrote for SNL. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I don't know, but like I just know like he was a writer for the Simpsons and stuff like that, and then he finally got his shot. It's just like I think it's because they're such good writers and they do such a great job, and then like it's like, hey man, you want to be in front of the camera? And it's like, sure. It finally becomes a thing, so
yeah,
it's just a different beast. Like he did something for 20 years and now he can do a little bit different thing for 20 years, and like he's gonna be good.
yeah.
I was thinking Alfred is the person I couldn't remember earlier, from Batman. I recently saw him on not the newer one, but like the dark with why can't I think of his name?
Jeremy Irons is the one in the Zack Snyder verse, and
No,
then
I'm
there's
thinking,
Michael Caine was the one
yeah,
in
Michael
the
Caine. Michael Caine talks about like he's like, I didn't really get a shot at acting until Nolan found me, and like I didn't get my big break until Nolan, and it's just been such a good time, like that. Like I really thought I was too old for this when Nolan first got me for the movie. I was like, okay, this is going to be a good last hurrah. And he's like, but then he just kept calling me, and I'm like, I kept picking up, and like it just caused this great resurgence in my career, and like I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful to him for everything, and like, man, it's been fun riding this ride with him. And I was like, that was just such a good genuine comment that he made, but like it is true. Like he didn't get his, like, he's done so many things, but
Yeah.
he didn't get his like big break until he says until Nolan really called him up, and I was like, that's cool. And
Yeah.
so some people were late bloomers, and I can't wait to see this action movie with Bob Odenkirk. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Just one last time. Let's just take a look at this screenshot of Bob Odenkirk having a fucking massive aneurysm. Fucking training for this fucking thing. Look at him. Look at his shit. Look at his fucking. Look at the veins. Look at the fucking veins on that head right there. He is so intense. Look at that shit. That is a man on a fucking mission.
And it's great too. Like he's turning all red because I think it really goes into the movie. The clip that I saw really goes with the movie because he's just like had it. He's tired of people taking advantage of him. He's tired of being a wimp. He's tired of people calling him something. It really has that Breaking Bad first episode vibe where he's just like, I'm not gonna be a pussy anymore.
Yeah.
And
like, look how old he looks in that picture. Sorry.
These guys just say something to him on the bus, and then they get their ass kicked because he should not have. They just fucked with the wrong old man today.
That's fucking right. Look at how old he looks in that fucking screenshot of his training. He looks 85 in that single screenshot. Oh fuck yeah. Yes, Bob Odenkirk. Give all the old people some fucking hope. Thank God. All right. I think we did it, my man. All right. Yeah. Please like, subscribe, comment. What other old ass actor would you love to see in an action flick? Please comment below. My name is Arnie. I have a little side project called The Arnie Dia Show. It's available everywhere. And this also is available everywhere. Kinetic Impressions Movie News. Thank you for watching. Drew, anything to say to the lovely people?
Yeah. Go out there and watch a fucking movie.
Good. Yes. Go out there and watch a fucking movie. All right.